Hey, my name is Jones and I'm here with JT, and it's a beautiful East Tennessee morning here, and today we're going to teach you how to build an above ground pool from poolwarehouse.com. Now the pool we're building is the Mountain Loch. It's one of our most popular above ground styles and I can't wait to show you how to build it. The Mountain Loch pool continuously wins best in class for best value, best design, and best quality in our 52-inch wall category. 52-inch hot dip galvanized steel pool walls, a 6-inch galvanized steel top seat, 5-inch steel uprights, steel top and bottom tracks, upgraded resin top and bottom connectors, all combined with a creamy cognac color. The hot dip galvanized steel walls also come with an upgraded protective polyester coating that protects from the outdoor elements and from chemicals. Make sure to always call 811 or your local utility company before starting any excavation projects in your backyard. It's important to have any gas, water, or power lines clearly marked and flagged before doing any digging or excavation work. First thing we want to do is try to get a level spot to build on. Now, most folks don't have a transit, but you can rent one for about $70 a day. So real quick, we're going to find zero and we're going to get a level spot to go ahead and start getting the ground ready to build. Okay, so what we're doing now is checking the circumference of the pool. Now all you need is a screwdriver and a tape measure. You want to end up with 2 extra feet all the way around the pool. So we're just going to kind of mark it off with a can of spray paint and kind of move all the way around just to make sure we have enough room to build this pool in this exact spot. So what we're doing now is taking off the first layer of topsoil. You really want to do that to try to keep anything that has roots from growing back up underneath that liner later. You don't want to puncture the liner. You don't want anything that could come back to start to grow again. So definitely take off the first layer. And now we're using a tractor. Not everybody has a tractor. There are other options in case you don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, you can use a tiller, like a regular garden tiller. You can also use a sod cutter. So if you've got nice level ground, a good area, sod cutters, regular garden tillers.
And you can rent one of those at like a AAA rental. Those are easy to rent for the day. And really you only need it for a couple hours to get the first layer off.
We have 4 tons of sand here. It's typically about $40 to $50 a ton, and 4 tons is typical for a 24-foot round to have a nice 3 to 4 inch bed for the bottom. We're gonna dump it right in the middle and build our pool around it.
All right, so we're getting ready to build the pool, but first we wanted to talk about your delivery. Everything comes on one 6-foot pallet. It's very neatly packed and all shrink wrapped up for you. You've got a pump and filter, a skimmer, the pool walls. We've got a ladder on this pool and a few other accessories. Make sure that you check the bill of lading before you sign for it. Make sure you've accounted for all the pieces of your pool. Just 30 seconds is a quick check, 1 minute. Do whatever you have to do, just check and make sure you have everything there. The first box we're opening has our top and bottom tracks in it and our connectors. So they look like this. They're pretty simple and you can easily identify those. You have a simple checklist that's inside. This box has top rails in it. In our other box with the connectors and tracks, you have another checklist. You'll notice the metal parts. These are our connectors. These are the bottom, and you'll have top connectors as well.
We're laying everything out now in the circle here. Gonna take the connectors, lay it all out, and the easiest way to do it is just kind of go around your circle here where you're laying the pool out. Go ahead and get most of your materials out that you're going to need for the bottom, and that's what I'm walking around doing now.
I like to go ahead and lay out your bottom track, your bottom connector, your upright, your top track, and top connector, followed by the uprights. Now the reason we do that is that way you're not running back and forth the boxes trying to get pieces. This is a simple way for 2 people to assemble the pool. Your installation manual may call for something different, but this is what we found to be the most effective way to quickly get all the pieces laid out and start putting up the walls.
So we're putting the bottom track in to the connectors, and you'll know when to stop when you're sliding it in. We're just going to take this piece here slide it in, and you want to go only to the end of where this lip pops up. Slide it on down, right about there.
Now that we've got our bottom track and our bottom connector set, we're going to go back and we're going to set pavers. Now we're going to dig down to set each paver at 0. So at ground level, you want those to be flush with the ground. I want to point out that you really need to take time when you're setting those bottom connectors and you're getting those pavers underneath to level each spot and each connector before you move on to the next. It's super important. It's part of the foundation of the pool.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tedious. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to definitely be worth it in the long run to make sure that everything is nice and sturdy and level.
All right, so we just opened up the wall. It really comes nicely packaged. It's in a nice compressed roll. We're going to open it up and start setting it into the bottom track, and we'll show you how to do that.
Instead of putting all of the hardware in, all the screws, we're just going to put one in the top, one in the bottom, because all this has to come back off when we drop the liner. When we drop the liner, we'll put everything back together and put all the screws and everything else in.
Another tip I'd like to point out is never let the wall just sit by itself. It can start to unroll. It's hard to keep it compressed if you do that, so always have somebody hold up the wall for you. And never try to install your above ground pool if it's a very windy day. It will just grab these walls and push them right over, so make sure you don't do it on a real windy day. We get this call all the time. Sometimes the wall doesn't perfectly meet right in the middle. You may have a 4 or 6 inch gap between the two sections once you've unrolled it and got it in your bottom track. Now there's a trick to help move those wall pieces closer together. You start to wiggle, have someone hold one side but wiggle the wall, and it'll start to move closer together. Now do that for a few minutes and move out around the pool, around the circumference, and keep wiggling, and the wall pieces will start to come together. Once you get those bolt holes together, run a screwdriver into one of the bottom holes and match it up with the other side of the wall to hold it in place until you can get your top track on top and connect it down, and then start ultimately putting the bolts from the top all the way down the bottom.
So where our walls come together and we bolt those, on the inside you want to make sure that you put a couple of strips of duct tape down through there, because you don't want those exposed bolts against your liner. Definitely want to make sure that you put a good seam of duct tape on there.
All right, so what we're doing is going ahead and building a cove up around the outside of the pool. Now this is the way we do it. We want to get a nice flat cove base before we put our foam cove down. We definitely recommend using a foam cove and a floor pad, and we'll show you how both of those go in. But first we're going to get this sand spread all the way around the inside perimeter of the pool, just making a little cove area.
With every one of your above ground swimming pools that you get from Pool Warehouse, we highly recommend using the foam coves. So these foam coves, they have double-sided tape, and you just peel this off, and you're going to go around the perimeter all the way around the bottom, placing your foam coves up against the side to kind of help fill that void from behind the wall from your liner. All right, we have the Roll Guard Confer A-frame ladder here that we have for this Mountain Loch swimming pool we're putting together. And we'll just take a few minutes, get this thing knocked out, and that's going to be our entry and exit for this Mountain Loch swimming pool kit. The thing that I really love about this is the fact that the treads are exposed so you can get in and out of the swimming pool, but when you're not using it to keep children safe and keep animals out and kids from climbing into the swimming pool, come over here, push this peg in, take your master lock. Each one comes with a master lock. You just slide that down in and lock it up. And that is the Confer A-frame Roll Guard locking ladder from poolwarehouse.com. We have our sand down, trying to get it all leveled out and smoothed out. We're going to come back over the top of it so it's nice and level all the way around here in preparation for the liner. And then at that point in time, we'll get ready to start adding some water. Now that our floor is completely done, we've got the sand all level, nice and neat, we're getting ready to drop this floor pad in. Highly recommend that you get a floor pad with any above ground swimming pool kit purchase. So we got our liner unboxed and just laying it out here flat so that the sunshine can hit it, warm it up a little bit. It's gonna make it much easier to work with that vinyl when we drop it. This is the Liberty liner, beautiful liner pattern. And we'll get it ready to drop in the swimming pool.
Probably better to have a couple folks help you put in your liner. You can obviously do this with 2 people, but if you have some friends or neighbors that can help, it'll make it go a lot faster. And we'll show you how to get this all attached in just a minute. But first, we're gonna spread the liner out around the whole circumference of the pool. All right, this liner is starting to fit like a glove. Now what we're doing is we're unscrewing our top connector and we're taking off the top track. Now this is a unibead liner, but we're just using the J-hook. So that J-hook will fit right on the top of the wall, and we'll show you that. As soon as we get one section in, we're putting that top rail back on and we're screwing in our connector. You can see this one here. We're screwing in both sides so that way it stays in place and we can move on to the next section. Now, if you were using an overlap liner, let me show you one of these. You would want to use this coping. This coping goes down over the top of the overlap liner that overlaps the wall, and then you put your top track back on top of that and press it down. We'll keep working our way down, and I think this liner is going to fit great. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you get your uprights plumb. Now it's pretty easy to do if you have a magnetic level. You'll just stick it to the side, and if you're off a little bit, you'll just want to tap on it until you get it right in the middle so it's exactly plumb, and we'll move around each upright and make sure all the uprights are plumb. And then next we're going to drop down here to the bottom and start putting our bottom resin connectors on. So we just finished taping in our skimmer cutout here, and we're doing that because we're getting ready to hook a shop vac up. Now you need a shop vac to help suck that liner back into place. Now you want to make sure you only drop it about midway down. You don't want to get it too close to the sand or you'll start to suck that sand back up into the shop vac, but we're going to let that go here in just a second. Now we're going to put the top seat on, and that's not very complicated at all. Really, you're going to get a locator hole on your top seat, and then that'll correspond with another locator hole at the end. So just make sure that you know where they're going to match up. The Mountain Loch has a 2-piece top cap. It's pretty easy to use. You're going to snap it together. There we go. Then if you'll notice, this top lip is slotted. You're going to want to catch that right underneath the top rail. So let's make sure we catch that. I'm caught on that side. Okay. All right, there it is. Guys, we had a great time building the pool for you today. The Mountain Loch is a fantastic looking swimming pool. I think it looks great in any backyard. I hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah, definitely. It was such a gorgeous day out here to build that Mountain Loch. And don't hesitate to jump online, go to poolwarehouse.com and find your Mountain Loch swimming pool kit.
See you soon.